This episode is powered by Poddex.
Hey everybody, it's Chad. Before we get started with this episode proper, just got to give you a couple of announcements. Number one, this was recorded a long time ago. This was recorded like a week after the whole George Floyd thing went down. So you're going to hear a lot of us talking about that in the beginning. This was never intended to be released, but why not? Here it is. Also, swing by our website. We've got it all fancied up for you now. p3show.com is our website. Go there. Links to where you can listen and subscribe. We got our new trailer up there so you can listen to that. Also, there's links to our Patreon. Shout out to our Patreons. We love you guys. Special series coming only to Patreon. It's me and Dave talking to teenagers. What? Our favorite topic. Well, at least Dave's. Anyway, we got that going on. We got a link to our Teepublic store. Get you a You're Not Mozart Bitch shirt. Get you a regular boner shirt. Maybe just a logo shirt. Just something simple. There's phone cases. There's all kinds of crazy shit there. Go check it out. p3show.com. That's the website. Down at the bottom on the front page is where you can find our Teepublic link. Everything else is in our tab that's called Listen and Support. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like I said, this is an old one, but it's a good one. So I hope you like it. And next week, we're kicking things off with a special series with our friend Ariel from Malice. So check it out. It's going to be awesome. And also, live stream. September 7th, we're going to be going live with Ariel for the final part. You got to wait for the first two parts, but you can hear the final part live on our Facebook, on our YouTube, all those things. Again, p3show.com gives you links to everything. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's crazy. And then as we're walking out of Walmart, the Girl Scouts are out there. It's like, hey, would you like to buy some Thin Mints? And like before they can even get it out, we're looking at each other. It's like, just once, can we get through this without you fucking it up?
God.
Welcome to P3. 5 picks to create the perfect package. It's time for the Perfect Package Podcast. Here are your hosts, Chad and Dave.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and the rest of you. This is P3, the Perfect Package Podcast. It's time for another Perfect Package. I'm Chad.
It's your boy Dave.
How the hell you doing, man?
I'm. That's about it. I'm doing. Is how I usually respond with that. Yeah, just we're getting by. I'm really at that place where like I could make an appointment to get my hair cut, and I really should. As all this is just in places, needs to be taken care of, but I haven't done so yet. That's my max top number one priority right now that I am ignoring, just so I can see how long I can go without having fixed this situation. So it'll get done eventually, but right now I'm just letting it go.
Hey, it looks good.
Well, one of the benefits of having black man hair is
natural hair.
Yeah. Is if you pick it out and then you can just pat it into whatever shape you want. It's like you don't have to be concerned about like all the just. I feel like everybody can do that. Like most races can actually get away with it, honestly. Like I can put it into a shape that looks like it's been shaped up. The benefit that white guys have when they have like hair that's grown out all crazy is they can put it in like a ponytail, or if they have curly hair, they can like feather it back. You're good to go for the most part. Man buns. There are plenty of options if you can't get your hair cut.
Or if you need a haircut, I can cut your hair, man. I'm good with cutting hair.
I'm going to decline, but only because I like the experiment that I'm going for right now. It has nothing to do with you or how familiar you might be with clippers. I haven't seen the shape of my own head in years, and I don't plan on seeing the shape of my head until I absolutely have to.
I think it looks good considering that, we've been on lockdown for 3 months.
Thank you.
So
I don't do too much of a hack job in cleaning up the lines every now and then.
looks good. Still looks professional and natural.
Yeah, very natural. What about you, man?
What have I been up to? A lot, yet nothing at all.
It do be like that sometimes.
Without going into massive detail, I've hit this, I guess we'll say, stride at work right now, where I do feel essential.
That's the nice way of saying I got too much goddamn work to do.
Because there's literally, figuratively, and literally no one else to do it.
Yeah, that's
due to,
shoo.
You talk about overstaff, understaff, adequately staffed but undertrained. And then you've got the one person there that can do the job. I'm starting to feel a little bulletproof.
That's a dangerous position to be in.
Yeah, because it's getting to the point now where I speak my mind, which I never used to do at work. And, when you're talking to somebody from, not the company we work for, but the company we support, just leave it at that for the people that know. And they say, how about you, Chad? How are things going? Do you need anything? And I'm like, other than the 7 emails I sent you last week, you never responded to. No, I don't need anything. Because I'm in that mind space now. What are they going to do? Make me leave? No. It's an interesting situation to be in right now. We'll see where the next couple of weeks lead us. That's all I'm going to say.
Probably a good plan.
Who knows? Next episode we record, I might have a lot to say. Because it will come out in 2 to 3 weeks from the time we record it. I'm just saying. Anyway. Anyway, no, it's been interesting. It's been fun. Occasionally turning on the news, watching the rolling dumpster fire that is the current goings on in some areas.
It's been an interesting one. I tell you what, there's nothing like being a part of the. I don't want to say victim group in this case. I want to say being a part of the group that is currently being talked about. Has to be. It's always interesting because then people want to ask you questions, and you just gotta sometimes you just want to be like, hey, I'm not a representative right now. Like, that's not how this works. I can't clear you for all the people. I'm just one guy.
It's like, don't text me. I know I'm the only one in your contacts. Don't text me.
Yo. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. Because, there were some people who texted me where I was like, yeah, that's a mixture of I haven't talked to you in a bit and genuine concern, right? But it's like, I know that they would get around to texting me anyway. Like, it's just a thing. It's like, I got plenty of friends where it's like, we just go for long periods of time without seeing each other. Maybe we live in different states. Maybe we don't run in the same circles all the time. But every now and then it's like, hey, how you doing? What's up? How you doing? What's good? But I got some where I'm like, you don't know any other black people, do you? You don't. I'm getting this vibe, especially when it's like, hey, what's up? How you feeling? Like, you don't ever ask me that question. You'd be like, what's up? What's poppin'? What you doing this weekend? Never, how you feeling? And then, of course, how's it around your way? What do you mean, how's it around my way? Well, no, I don't know. I'm going to make you explain, and I'm going to make this real uncomfortable for you. It's been pretty funny.
Yeah, I've noticed out on the Twitterverse that a lot of podcasts are doing these don't release an episode and just let's talk about this and let's talk. I've gotten tagged in a few ones. It's like, they did like the podcast blackout they wanted to do. And, and a couple of people messaged me and they were like, hey, what are you going to do? What are you guys going to do? What does Dave want to do? And I'm like, no, we're not that show. We're a fun show.
Okay. So first and foremost, we're a fun show, right?
Yeah.
And I get it if people who do fun shows want to do their part, right?
Yeah.
And say, yo, this is me showing that I care, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, this is one of my pastimes. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that I do to de-stress. This is something that I do to, we talk, we bullshit, we tell funny stories, all this other stuff. And I'm like, all right, there are plenty of things that white people, black people, and all shades in between and all nationalities can be doing right now to show their support and all this other stuff. I'm loving the protests, the peaceful parts, right? I'm loving the people who are showing up, showing out, and being like, yo, this is not okay for anybody who are understanding the situation and all that good stuff. And of course, there are people taking advantage of the situation. And I'm not even talking about looters and rioters. Like, that's to be expected when you get people out in the streets, right? Because it's a loose group of people. Somebody's going to be out here doing some stuff that ain't right. Like, you ever been to a concert? We're out here with the only commonality being this one thing that we enjoy. And there's some people here who just like smoking weed in public. And this is one of the best places to do so, right? Like, I'm not blaming, you're not going to blame me for that dude over there smoking weed. You're not going to get mad at me that I didn't go stop that dude from smoking weed. He's the one doing it. You got a problem with it. Go over there. Go talk to him. But you're not like, I think that part's funny. It's like, no, you can't take a crowd of random ass people who showed up and be like, oh, y'all, this was organized as hell, I bet. No, it wasn't. Shut the fuck up. But anyways, more importantly, I'm not going to, this is not a time for me to sacrifice. This is not like a sacrifice moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's a speak up, speak out, say what you got to say moment. But why should I have to fucking sacrifice this thing that I'm doing? It's not going to make anything better for me to say I'm not here. If somebody who feels like they're part of the privileged group, whatever, says, I'm going to give up, I'm going to sacrifice so that I can prove, I can show that I'm here, I'm with you, dope. Be here, be with me by letting me do my thing and enjoying myself instead of just being stressed and being like, I'm going to get rid of all the things that make me happy in an effort to show that I'm behind this. Y'all know I'm behind this. So I'm going to keep doing this show, and I can't do it by myself. I'd be here rattling, just talking crazy for who knows how long. And I like talking to you, and I think people enjoy that. So out of respect for me and my black manness, we're going to do this show.
That's right. Like you said, it is possible to be too woke.
It's possible to be too woke, y'all. You can tell me, look, you have your day, you have your thing that you want to set aside to say, hey, we out here. But if you're going to then snap back on somebody who says, I'm going to keep providing entertainment for the people who enjoy it, not out of disrespect, but because this is something that I enjoy doing, and taking that away isn't helping anybody. That's too woke, y'all. That's too woke. So if you're going to get upset, and we're not even deep enough into our numbers for me to be saying this, but I'm going to say it. But if it makes you upset that we're doing this episode and not blacking out, you don't have to listen. You just genuinely do not. By the way, we already got you. Listen, you already downloaded this episode. Fucking gotcha. But you don't have to listen to the rest. You know what I mean?
Never, when this whole thing started going down, not once did I have the thought of saying, Dave, what do you want to do? I know what you want to do. You want to sit here, tell dumb jokes, maybe laugh occasionally, and just have a good time.
I think that's the mark, though. Like, that's the mark of a solid relationship. That's the mark of...
We're not fucking or anything, but...
Nah. I mean, not that there would be... Well, I was going to say not that there'd be anything wrong with that, but you're married, so it would be fucked up. But not from any other perspective.
No,
it's a solid friendship.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's a lot of shit that happens in the world that bothers me that I would, like to talk about, but why? It just takes you down a dark path that, I do this as an escape. I do this to decompress. I mean, some people fucking heads would spin if they knew what's happened in the last 24 hours for me. But, it's like, I'm not going to turn this off and say, oh, I just want to sit here and be in my feelings. No, I want to get on here with my friend and I want to talk some shit and have fun.
Exactly. Not again. And again, it's that whole not denigrating anybody who decides we're blacking out to show our support. That's not even it. But there's a difference between doing something to show your support and then being like, if other people don't do it, they're part of the problem. Like, I've had times in my life where I've had two woke ass white people tell me that I should be feeling this way and that way about a thing. And the fact that I'm not upset and doing this and that and the other is like, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, did this just happen? Did you just
And if we're being honest, if I was to come on here and say, all right, Dave, tonight at the start of the show, I want you to do a monologue about what's going on in the world. That's what got us in this whole mess to begin with.
People just telling other people what's going to happen.
A privileged white man telling a black man what to do. And plus, if you've never listened to the show before, I would say it is safe to say that Dave is whiter than me.
I remember. Oh, you know what I remember? I don't remember if I ever told this story, but I did. I'll tell this and then we'll move on. But when I was teaching, right? I think it was like my second or third year teaching. And
thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate your concern and recognizing that. But so I mean, that's come up my entire life. Just people being like, Dave's the whitest black guy, da, 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 da. You always take it. You take it in stride. Like, some people get upset about shit like that, and some people are like, these are my friends. You can't, if you with your friends can't tell the difference between like satire and real talk, that's your problem. Don't be mad at me if I don't get upset about it. Like, because I'm not out here with people saying that with real undertones. They're not out here for these reasons. They're saying it because it's a funny thing to say, right? It is, there's no, I'll give this story and then I'll explain to you why I'm saying that. So anyways, teaching, it's like my second or third year teaching. And it's pretty much the beginning of the school year, maybe a month in, maybe a month and a half. And I talked to my students about all kinds of stuff. Nothing was taboo. Religion we talked about, racism we talked about politics, all kinds of stuff. Because I'm like, 13 to 14-year-olds are a lot smarter than most people give them credit for. They're pretty savvy, right? If you give them an opportunity to explain themselves. That's the problem. They're usually not great at explaining themselves. So you got to help them out there and give them a moment. But so I had some students. We had an issue of a race where some of the students were accusing one of my coworkers of being racist. They were like, he only ever, disciplines black students. He only ever yells at black students. Da, 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 da. And I was like, that is demonstrably untrue, because I know how these, students get sent out. Students get written up. There are formal written paperwork for all that stuff. And you can see, and I know that that's not the case, right? So we had the conversation. I was like, you know what? Whatever we were going to learn today, let's table that. We'll get around to it tomorrow. So let's talk about this. And it was like, so what makes it racist? Why is it racist? What is the behavior? And I asked questions. I was like, so what do you do in their class? What about these other people who aren't getting in trouble? What are they doing? Who are the examples of kids who are doing the wrong thing and not getting in trouble? And it ultimately came down to these kids who were saying, oh, this person's racist, that person's racist. It's like, nah, you were just acting like an asshat, because there are plenty of black kids in that class who weren't acting like dinguses and not getting in trouble. Surprise, surprise. And then it was like, one of the students, right? She says, well, you would say that. You're basically a white guy yourself. And I was like, well, why do you say that? Because I do get interested, what it is when people think that. And she was like, well, look at the way you dress and just look at the way you talk. Now, mind you, she spoke with heavy AAVE, African American vernacular. She's got that, all those things. And I was like, well, so what do you mean? She's like, well, your clothes. And I was like, so my clothes, as opposed to the friends that you hold the dearest, my clothes fit. Like, your friends, all of them have their pants sagging off halfway up their ass, right? And they'll wear like jerseys and tanks with like deep V's, so they're exposed in half their chest because they think they're cute. And I'm like, so you're upset with me because I dress like a professional. I come in, I'm wearing a shirt and tie like my job asks me to do, and that bothers you somehow. She's like, well, yeah, well, what about the way you talk? And I'm like, I'm an English teacher. It's my job to speak the language properly. Like, and I don't mean my accent. I don't mean any of that other stuff. I just mean it's my job to understand words, use them properly. I don't slur because, well, you have to understand me. You are a student. If I stood up here all day, my words slurred together, and I couldn't, explain myself, and I didn't have the words necessary to explain myself to you, and I wasn't speaking with the clarity necessary for everybody to understand, that would be a problem. So what you're saying is the fact that I wear clothes that fit, the fact that I speak in a way that is intelligent and put together makes me white, which means you think that black people wear clothes that don't fit and aren't intelligent and can't speak. So which one of us is racist? Which one of us has a problem with black people? So that was always interesting to me, because I think that sort of piece is inherent. It's happened to me my entire life. I've had a lot of black people like, man, you ain't even black. And I'm like, why? Why? What is your problem? And I think it comes down to we could turn this into a whole big thing, but it is a long-term sort of mentality that has been baked in because of the fact that we've adapted. A lot of black people have adapted to their environment that they were left with. And if you are held down long enough, some people are going to start to believe that's where they belong. If you are only provided the scraps, if you have to scrape and fight for everything that comes to you, you might start to believe that you don't deserve anything and you can't be anything. And I think that pervades our culture. And then it leads to this sort of, starved dog mentality. It's like when crabs on the side of crabs in a bucket. If they work together, they could pull themselves out. But some of the crabs are just like, nah, I'm going to pull you back down in my effort to get out. And so, they see somebody who's done for themselves. And let me tell you something, my family was not in any way, shape, or form privileged. My childhood was rough in terms of, financials and that sort of thing. But I was boosted up because instead of my family tearing down, we lifted and lifted and lifted. And I would love to see that continue on. Obviously, I wouldn't denigrate black people as a whole and say that's a problem. Hell no. We have a whole lot of things that have been problematic along the way that cause these sorts of emotions, that cause that sort of you ain't black if you don't blah. But I just think that more than ever, and I think it's happening right now, more than ever, we need to be united, not just with ourselves, but with other races as well, which I like seeing that piece of what's going on right now. But if you're black and you're listening, just remember, just like there's nothing wrong with black people being different from white people and they should be treated equally, there's nothing wrong with black people being different from other black people and they should be treated equally. Remember that. Except for light-skinned brothers. Fuck y'all. Light-skinned ass motherfuckers always out here acting like you cool. Fuck off.
Oh, shit. I knew you'd bring it back for me. God damn. I will say one thing, and then we can get back into the funny here. But week or so ago, there was in DC, group of people marched up to the Lincoln Memorial. Mm-hmm. So when you see and it wasn't a huge crowd compared to the one that was over by the White House, maybe 200-300 people. Still, that's a fuck ton of people. But they marched up there, got on the steps. You've got National Guard, you got Capitol Police. I mean, the whole place is flanked. And they've got barricades up, but they just went up to the barricade. They stood there. Just number one, on a historical level, that's huge, because you think of all of the big protests in D.C., they always culminate to the Lincoln Memorial. And while they were there, they had a Muslim guy get up and talk. They had some young black people get up. At one point, one of the black guys was talking. They brought up a white girl that started doing sign language, like was doing the sign language as he was talking. They had an old white guy that got up there and said, I was here in 1963. You know, it was phenomenal, just this whole thing. And then they all kneeled down and they all held hands, people putting their hands on the people in front of them's back, and they all bowed their heads and they all prayed. Every race, every age, everybody was there. It was like a fucking Benetton commercial. And
United Colors.
And I tell you, and me and Em were watching that, and just in that moment while we're watching this, I was like, you know, that's the America I want to live in. It was moving, it was awesome, and it was just cool to see. But anyway, enough of that shit. All right, so tonight, I think after your wonderful educational moment that we had to start us off, I think we need to do another reverse draft.
Ooh.
I had so much fun doing that.
That shit was ridiculous. I was just like, genuinely just trying to figure out things that were random enough that they didn't immediately fall into a pattern, but also somehow connected. And it was the weirdest game of word association that I've ever played. I'm in.
I want to do it again. And if you don't have any objections, I would like to go first this time.
I'm okay with that.
I am going to start us off with coloring books.
Coloring books.
A large selection of coloring books.
What
But
kind?
I'm so glad you asked. That's a great question.
I'm concerned now.
I don't like the adult coloring books.
See, that's what I was getting. That's why I was asking.
Because it's so intricate, and you know, you have to use colored pencils because it's so intricate, it's so small, and there's so many lines. Sometimes if you want to color, you just gotta fuck with some Crayolas or whatever the off-brand is. There's that one,
Rose art.
Rose art. Yes, you're a teacher, you should know that shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but just coloring books that are way too immature for myself.
All right, so there is a coloring book that I have. Tell me whether this falls inside or out of your pile of coloring books that you've picked. All right, it's called Unicorns Are Jerks, and it is a coloring book where all of the pictures are unicorns doing stuff that is rude. Like unicorns fart in the elevator, or unicorns eat your leftovers that you were saving. Is that childish enough to qualify?
No, I mean, I would consider that. I would consider that more of along the lines of the adult ones because it does have some adult content in it.
Okay,
quote unquote.
So children's coloring books.
I have a Die Hard coloring book that is a coloring book based off of the movie Die Hard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And activities. It has like, find the differences, and shit like that.
Get the fuck out
Help
of here.
John McClane get through the maze, avoid the broken glass, that kind of shit. I'll have to bring it in.
I want to see that.
I was eyeballing this box that's underneath that's shoved in the corner here in the studio. I was gonna dig in there and see if it was, hold it up for the camera, but
right.
No, I'll find that and bring it in. I also have one that's I can't remember the exact title of it, but every page is like a shitty situation in life. It's like somebody barefoot stepping in dog shit, or like you can't find the lid for the pots and pans and stuff like that. It's just like just things that fucking stress people out from everyday life. There's that one. But no, I'm thinking with this is like a kid's, because they're like it's simple. It's a quick way to color. Because you can do, maybe 4 colors tops on a page, and you can add to it, and make it god awful. There's some awesome threads that you can find online where they take like a a Looney Tunes coloring book, and then they'll draw and add to it where
Lord.
where it'll have like somebody with their arm around somebody and they retool it so it looks like they're holding up a severed head. There's some great little feeds on that, but yeah, I'm just thinking comic books that are not comic books, coloring books that are obviously for small children.
I'm into it. All right. Okay. That's weird. All right. Coloring books. What do I take on the back of coloring books? Coloring books, you know what they make me think of? Relaxing. Because, again, the adult coloring books are specifically for relaxing, but even using kids' coloring books would be relaxing. So I'm going to go with a weighted blanket. And not just any weighted blanket, one of those ones that's like, those heavy as fuck ones that have like big old tigers on them or like something like that. Those ones that look like they're those fleece blankets, but they're not. They're just heavy as shit.
So is it just those big fleece blankets or?
Okay, just those big fleece blankets, but the ones that are heavy as shit.
Okay.
Not specifically
like the ones they sell on the side of the road usually.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
They've got a stripped down U-Haul out there with no identifying markings on it.
No, none at all.
They run some cables on some, poles that are cemented into tires and just big old yeah, okay.
And it's always like a tiger or an eagle or one of those borderline 3-wolf moon getting ripped off. It's always some animal shit. And you're like, all right, I want that one. And then you go to take it off. And you're like, why does this blanket weigh like 50 pounds? And they're hot. But you wrap yourself up in one of those and you're comfy. You're going to go to sleep. And then you're going to wake up thinking that you're dying and you're being smothered by a small child. So I'm going with those big ass semi-fleece blankets.
I like it. That's a very specific thing. Hyper specific.
Sorry.
I went very broad but I'm going to keep mine in the same section I've been in to get my coloring books. I'm going to get some more toys.
Okay.
But I want to buy a bunch of toys that are they're usually rather cheap and they're obvious knockoffs of popular toys. And the name is in some sort of English, where they've poorly translated what it is, or they are just obviously trying to avoid a copyright infringement situation. Like, an obvious Superman rip off, and they call him like Super Guy.
Incredible Man. Yeah. You're like, okay. All right. Come on, guys.
Like Stone Ice, the wrestling figure. Stone Chill. I've seen some great ones.
And that's the medium line.
Just like,
Stone
almost
Ice said so.
Yeah. But like, almost like the dollar store toy section. Just cleaning house in the dollar toy section. So toys, lots of cheap toys that are ripoffs of, and it's not even like a Transformers GoBots thing. It's like under GoBots.
Yo, Transformers GoBots was a ridiculously one-sided battle. That was, some kids had GoBots because their parents didn't understand what was going on. Or their grandparents. You have both?
Yes.
See, that is the definition of privilege. You could have sweet battles between the Transformers and the GoBots. That's dope as hell.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just shitty knockoff cheap toys.
Shitty knockoff cheap toys. All right. Shitty knockoff cheap toys. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with wow. I got one in my head and I don't know why. Like, I genuinely don't know why, but I guess I'm going to go with it. I couldn't, like, it's genuinely impeding my ability to think of something else. So I got to get it out there so I can just let it go. I'm going to go with over-the-counter sleep aids.
Okay. Little Sominex.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why it's in my head, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's so many other things.
Got a blanket. It makes sense.
I am thinking about sleep a lot right now.
How about the zzz quill?
Dude, that shit is dangerous.
I just alleviated the middleman on that.
Yeah, just, you know what, knock yourself out, literally. Just go for it, man.
I liked it better when it was the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coffee head, achy, why the fuck am I on the kitchen floor medicine?
You ever... Now, I've never shied away from being slightly foul before, so I'm not going to do it now. You ever hear about the challenge? The ZQL challenge?
No.
So it is not one of those asshole moves like the Tide Pod shit where you're like end up getting somebody hurt. Okay? This is more along the lines of if you happen to have to take ZQL because you're already going to sleep and you're sick and you need to have some symptoms relieved and so you can sleep and, you know, try and heal your body. The challenge is to attempt to you abuse yourself. You know what I'm saying? In the carnal sense. You know, you give yourself,
I'm with you.
yeah.
With you.
You introduce yourself to Pamela Anderson, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to pop off before you fall asleep. And that's part one of the challenge.
Oh,
part two,
sweet Jesus.
Part two for maximum success is if you do manage to pop off before you go to sleep, then you have to clean up before you pass out. Because traditionally, you're pretty relaxed after you take yourself in hand, if you know what I'm saying. And when you already got ZQL pumping through your system, that's just going to compound the situation. So, 2-part challenge. The ZQL challenge.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never done it because I'm not a degenerate. So, you know, stop looking at me like that.
Hey, we've said it, I think, every episode. We don't kink shame here.
We don't kink shame. And if you're upset because your kids heard some shit that they weren't supposed to hear, that's on you. Get your shit together. But yeah, over-the-counter sleep aids.
Okay. All right. I strayed a little bit. I'm kind of pissed about that pick, but that's okay. We'll bring it around. That's the whole point of this. I am going to go back to kind of my original thought process when I went into this. I'm going to, before you react, I'll explain. But I'm going with duct tape.
Duct tape.
Duct tape. Lots of duct tape. Have you seen the decorative duct tape?
I have some decorative duct tape.
They've got the whole rack, and it's all kinds, all colors, designs, and you can build shit with that. It's arts and crafts for days. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I just want to, because I'm coloring, and I want to now have some decorative duct tape, because you can do a lot of things with duct tape.
Oh yeah, it's like the ultimate utility item.
Yeah, I arts and crafts with it, you know. If you can't fix it with duct tape, it's broke.
Yep. Very true.
I patched a pipe under my house once with duct tape.
Hey, man.
And it worked for years. But yeah, it was a busted, like an old school, like 150-year-old house with old clay pipes in the basement. I just fucking wrapped that shit up like a cast. And shit held, you know.
Fair enough.
But no, duct tape. Lots of duct tape. Decorative duct tape. Zebra stripes. Maybe we'll find one that matches the blanket.
That would be fucking dope.
Some tiger stripes.
Oh my God, tiger. That exists. I have personally seen tiger stripe duct tape that was pink and black. So that was
and then they've had that I've seen Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Like people making prom dresses out of duct tape.
I have seen that. Okay. Talk about a blast from the past. Not one of my friends, his date that he brought from. So, by the way, he was one of those guys who was like, my girlfriend who lives in the next state, she's coming to prom. And we were like, all right, dog, sure. But then she actually showed up and we were like, oh shit, your girlfriend lives in another state. She's also kind of hot. She's also wearing a dress made out of duct tape. You win.
There was one of my many trips that I did out to Wisconsin. I went to Wisconsin Dells, and they've got me and my obsession with the Ripley's Museum. I went to the Ripley's Museum there. They had a full bedroom that was done in duct tape.
That's wicked.
They had a bed that was built out of duct tape. They had a sofa that was built out of duct tape. They, picture frames. They did like the mantle of the fireplace in duct tape. It was awesome. So yeah, duct tape. So many uses. And it's a nice little fun arts and crafts project.
Yeah. All right. Duct tape, arts and crafts. Well, I'm doing that thing where I look around my room for inspiration. Let's see. Duct tape, arts and crafts. No choice. I'm gonna go with the DVD of The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah,
it's a fun movie.
It's a great movie. It's got Patrick Warburton. I love that guy, and David Spade.
I was just gonna say David Spade.
I don't know why my mind went to Patrick Warburton first. He's got an iconic voice, though. I love his voice. But yeah, Patrick Warburton, David Spade, great movie.
We've said this before, and we need to do this. We're going to have, let's not do it with 8 people again, but let's do another happy hour one, happy hour episode, and play some games. But one of the games is going to be, I'm going to say a movie, or no, I'm going to say an actor or an actress, and you have to tell me the first movie that pops in your head.
Yes, yeah.
And then you get points if you match the one I pick ahead of time.
Okay. All right. I'm into it.
A little game. Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime.
Play a game.
Yes.
Sorry.
I like that you went DVD too.
Yeah, it's just something about kids movies and like physical media, older physical media. If I remember correctly, I don't think VHSs were still around when Emperor's New Groove came out. I don't think they were still putting stuff on VHS, right? At that point, they were just full on DVD.
I'm going to Google it.
Because if I could get a VHS of Emperor's New Groove, I want to change my pick. Because sure, I could stream it right now on Disney Plus, but it's not the same. It's not the same as popping a DVD in and waiting for that menu to come up. You know, I was one of those kids that when I got a DVD, I was like, there are hidden features here. I need to scroll all around the screen to try and find where that hidden button is. Is that Emperor's New Groove on VHS? I changed my answer. Emperor's New Groove on VHS. $10.
$10 plus $3.99 shipping.
Man, I'm about to get. Well, I'd have to get a VCR also, but it might be worth it.
Ooh, for $17.90, you can get Emperor's New Groove and Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Two-pack.
Underrated movie. Underrated movie. And if you say Titan AE was the better of those two, you can fucking fight me. You and your light-skinned ass friends. Because I know there's probably light-skinned brothers out here, the ones who think Titan AE is better. Fuck
you. You know who thinks Titan AE is better? People that like Creed.
Oh. Ooh. Oh, you done it now.
What, didn't they do that song? They did the song for Titan AE, didn't they? I think.
Oh, wait.
The song Higher was from that movie.
Oh, you talking about Creed, the band. I thought you were talking about Creed.
No,
movie.
not the movie.
I was like, oh, you done it now. I know people out here who stand hard. There are a couple of people who don't think Michael B. Jordan's actually that good. Did you know that? They're not big fans of Michael B. Jordan, which, look, he's on The Wire, all right? You got to give him his props for that. In any case, no, I agree with you on the Creed the band. Creed the movie is okay. Pretty good. Creed the band is, a thing. All right. Where even are we? What did I take? A VHS? A VHS of...
Yeah, I got to change my thing here for VHS.
Of Emperor's New Groove. And prior to that, you took
Duct tape, lots of duct tape.
lots of duct tape. Okay.
I'm not trying to steer this anyway, but I'm on a crafting kick right now.
Okay.
The kids are down there just crafting up a storm right now. I got so much crafty shit everywhere in the house. I want to go with my duct tape specifically because I don't know what else you would use it for. A set, not a 1-pack, not a 2-pack, a set of X-Acto knives. Like the high class ones too. Like you've got your typical pointed ones. They've got the little diamond tip ones. They've got the ones that look like a little hook. You know, these sadistic looking, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they've got like the little pencil thin, X-Acto knife handles. And then they've got the one that you can screw in and it looks like a screwdriver handle on that.
Yep.
For when you really got to get in there. I got duct tape I got to cut here. I need to get in there.
Yo, I didn't think it was possible on a reversed random pick episode for you to steal one of my picks. I was literally in my head like, I'm going to go with box cutters. I'm just going to take box cutters. I got duct tape to cut. I need box cutters. That's the trick. That's the trick to a good cut on duct tape. Use a box cutter. And then you're just like, X-Acto knives, a set of X-Acto knives. I'm like, this motherfucker's reading my brain. Okay, so you're going full on X-Acto, X-A-C-T-O knives.
That's right.
Okay, real X-Acto knives. Because I was just going to say box cutters. But no, I agree with you 100%. Those were the things that kids got in trouble with at school. Because it's really fun to click with the box cutter. Those erasers were a perfect replacement for that. Like whoever invented those erasers, that it was just one long eraser in a tube and you could like click them up. First of all, you're a genius. Those were fidget spinners before fidget spinners existed, just to keep your kid distracted. And the only problem they had was they were also infuriating to listen to. Somebody was just like, you're just like, shut the fuck up, AJ. Jesus.
Oh, we're back to AJ. God, we haven't visited AJ in a long time.
Look, man. He's like in my head, he is that shit kid from every movie. That kid that you're like, he's going to grow up to burn stuff. Everybody else is going to leave this small town. He's going to be the one that sticks around. And somehow he's still living in his parents' house. They're dead. He probably killed them. You don't know. And he's drinking beer and fixing stuff and just barely subsisting. He's that guy. But, if you're out there, AJ, hopefully you're doing just fine for yourself. Please don't kill me. But okay, set of X-Acto knives. Now I got to play jazz because I was so firmly committed to that. I was like, yeah, we got that. I'm going to go with those 20-year bulbs. Like those bulbs that just don't go out. You never have to replace them.
Okay.
I think it's 20 years. Maybe that's an exaggeration. I feel like that's right.
Are they LED ones or are they?
They're like, I'm trying to remember exactly what they are. They're not LED, I don't think, but no, they're not LEDs. But I don't think they're filament bulbs either, but basically they're like designed for, I have the foyer of my house is like 3 stories fucking high. And I got to put some lights up there, and it's a pain in the ass to get up there to put in lights. So I'm going to put in these bulbs that are supposed to last forever and a day, so I never have to do it. I want a set of those, but like an uneven set. I want to take a box that somebody opened up and stole one, and I'm going to take that box, be like, hey, let me get these. A discounted box of 20-year bulbs because somebody stole one out. That's what I want.
All right, so we're down to my 5th and final pick, and I am very, very, very torn on this one.
All right.
I have 2 ideas. Both fit with my theme, that at least it kind of looks like a theme when I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Well, except for one. I fucked up on one, but that's okay. We'll make it work in the end. Yeah, I'll kind of loop mine into... I'm going to loop mine into the one I'm not picking, I can piece together shit and create my own. So I'm gonna go with because I noticed that they're selling these again. A Polaroid camera.
Oh shit! Are they selling those again?
Yeah. Much smaller now, but a camera, not a digital camera, but a Polaroid that you can instantly get a hard copy picture to hang on your wall.
Okay.
Or, I mean, all this arts and crafts shit I got. Maybe I'm making a scrapbook. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I pictures, Polaroids, a Polaroid camera.
Just make sure to get one of the normal ones, because I remember like 10 years back they had a resurgence of those for hipsters. And they were all kinds of stupid colors.
Yes.
Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
In the age,
Lots of them.
in the digital age,
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the digital age, Polaroids are a novelty, and I love it. I also think they're simpler, because actually printing out pictures is kind of annoying. All right, fifth and final pick. Let's get deep with it. I guess I'm gonna go with.
I love that you look around.
I'm really just like, I want something to speak to me right now. Something to tell me where I'm going. I think I'm going to go in the same direction. Cause for some reason I got this box of bulbs. I'm going to get a new power drill. I need a new power drill, like a Dremel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just going to get a new power drill. I think it's something that you need. And if I'm going to be putting up bulbs, I'll probably be also doing some other projects around the house.
Yeah. I like it. I had a Dremel for a while. That thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I lost it in the divorce.
The Dremel?
Yeah.
Damn.
All the things. The Dremel I did not get to keep, but that's all right. Now you can do some cool shit with that.
Also, it reminds me like of sometimes when I'm not thinking, stuff from Gran Torino pops into my head. And I just remember that scene where they're in the garage and the kid is asking about how Clint Eastwood's character gets all of his tools, and he's just like, slowly over the course of a lifetime. I'm like, it's not particularly like wise or deep or anything, but it is just like a thought that I think a lot of people don't have about stuff. It's just like, you think about some of the stuff that you have, some of the collections you have, and you're like, how did you acquire this? For most people, it's slowly over the course of a lifetime. And I think tools are one of those things that are a useful collection to have if you plan on doing stuff yourself, at least.
I agree.
So,
A Dremel.
Dremel.
All right. So to recap, we have the fuck. Have fun with this one. All right. A selection of coloring books for small children.
Mm-hmm.
A shitty knockoff cheap toys.
Okay.
Decorative duct tape. An X-Acto knife set, Polaroid camera and film, a giant fleece blanket with some kind of animal on it, over-the-counter sleep aids, a VHS tape of The Emperor's New Groove, long-lasting light bulbs off of the clearance rack, and a Dremel.
Yep.
I don't know what this is, but wherever we're buying this, the person that's checking us out has so many red flags going up.
Well, no. What? No.
I'm telling you, the person that's checking us out is calling a manager. At least. I'd go as far as saying is they're going to find a parent, teacher, or someone they trust to talk to.
Look, it's
I've
not
got a white man. I've got a white man and a black man. They're buying children's things. They've got sleep aids. They've got kids movies, and they've got knives and power tools and light bulbs and duct tape and a camera.
No, it's not that. And that's that's the problem too, because you can't, like, you see that look on that person's face and you can't defend yourself. It's the minute you say something, now you look guiltier.
As soon as you start explaining it, you're guilty as shit.
No, you got to just go.
It was better off when you just said, what?
Because if you're like, oh no, the neighbors.
Just don't blink and stare at them the whole time they're ringing you out.
It's not, they're not going to think better of you, but they're not going to say anything at the very least.
Yeah.
If you stare them down. Because the minute you're like, no, the neighbor's kids are coming over, and I'm gonna be taking care of some stuff around the house. I got some projects to take care of, so I thought, what better way to distract them than with a classic Disney film and some crafts, arts and crafts
On VHS. That's the first red flag.
It's a VHS. It's like, this is 2020, man. You ain't got Disney Plus. You're buying a VHS. For the price of that VHS, you could get a month of Disney Plus.
With Hulu.
And ESPN Plus. So yeah, you're definitely being skeevy buying that VHS. What's going on, my friend? Oh, I don't want to weird out some checkout person.
That's exactly what we're doing.
All right, here's my question to you. What is the creepiest thing on that list? Once somebody's decided, because individually, none of these are a problem. But if you're seeing this group of things together, what's the thing that puts you the most on edge?
The VHS tape.
Why? Come on. Why? The VHS.
It depends on the store.
Okay.
If you go into Walmart and buy a VHS tape of a Disney movie, people are going to look at you.
I don't.
If you go to Goodwill and buy a VHS tape of Disney, if you go to a consignment shop and buy a VHS tape of Disney, you got a good deal.
Look, I don't understand. I don't understand what's so wrong. I'm a grown man. I think VHS tapes should still be okay for me. All right.
I don't know what on here is the worst thing. I could, now looking at it this way, and after what I said, I can think of more to put on this list that would make it worse.
Oh, 100%. Like,
I mean, this could have ended up horribly wrong.
At the top of my list, crossed out because I was just like, this isn't necessary, was too many condoms. And I'm really glad I didn't put that one on this list early on.
Yeah, that would have been problematic.
That would have been, that would have been an issue. Considering the rest of the stuff we have on here, I don't think it belongs. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
So now the way I recapped it, it's like coloring books, toys, duct tape, X-Acto knives, Polaroid. So far, it's like, okay, this person has kids.
Right.
Big blanket, great. Sleep aids. There's nothing on here that, screams foul play. What are you laughing at?
I put them in order.
Oh, God.
I put them in order to, like, this is of these 10 items. If they went in the order you said, okay, all right. This is your order. You're standing. You're working at Walmart. I think this is the only place we can really see all these things together. Maybe a Target. And white man and a slightly younger black man walk up, arms full. They didn't even use baskets or a cart. They just got all this shit in their arms. And they plop it down. You're like, all right, whatever. You start ringing them through. Coloring books. Some off-brand toys. A VHS of Emperor's New Groove. A big, heavy fleece blanket. Some over-the-counter sleep aids. Lots of decorative duct tape. A set of X-Acto knives. A Dremel drill. A Polaroid camera. And then rolling across at the end, just a box, a busted up box of 20-year bulbs that one has already been stolen out of. Oh. And you give them a look, and they start explaining about how the box already had one stolen out of it. Because that's what they're concerned about. Oh, Lord. That's the order that freaks somebody out. Oh, God.
And I think what would raise the next red flag is if when they ring up that one bulb, they say, oh, did you want me to go get you? And you look at your watch and say, no, it's fine. Just put it in the bag.
Put it in the bag. No.
You just keep looking at your watch.
Just looked at your watch. I picked this one specifically. Just put it in the bag. Thank you. No. You're doing the eye contact thing, just staring him down, and I'm not making any eye contact at all. I'm just staring at the ground.
And I keep looking at my watch while I'm staring at him, just like
aggressive eye contact and constantly looking at your watch, and all the effort to not make eye contact at all, staring at the ground. Paid cash. Not in a wallet or anything, straight out of the pocket.
with a rubber band.
With a rubber band. A rubber band on a wad of cash that's not even large enough to need a rubber band. It's just rubber banded together. Oh, why? Why?
And they
Oh.
they pull the cash out. Rubber band, doesn't need a rubber band, lays it out, little wrinkled, flatten it out, and then they converse between themselves to, do you have a nickel? Do you have a nickel? There you go.
No.
Exact change.
No, I'm done. All right. I'm out. Fuck that, man. No, that's so fucking creepy.
One looks aggro and aggressive, and the other one is obviously shaken and nervous. But they stop long enough, and they're obviously obsessed with what time it is, but have enough sense to say, "Do you have a nickel?"
No, I don't.
Yeah, I need a nickel. Just, do you have any pennies?
No, I don't care.
Like two pennies. I think I got three.
I don't have it.
I got three. Here, take the keys, go out in the car. There's probably a nickel in the ashtray.
You know I clean the car every day. You know I clean the car every day. I take all the pennies out. I throw them away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. And if you clean the car out every day, air quotes, where were you for the last 8 years?
You know they wouldn't let me out.
And then as we're walking out of Walmart, the Girl Scouts are out there. It's like, hey, would you like to buy some Thin Mints? And like before they can even get it out, we're looking at each other. It's like, just once, can we get through this without you fucking it up?
God,
I had an idea for what this was.
what a scenario, man.
But now it's like,
What a fucking scenario.
it's not even a perfect package. It's the perfect scenario.
Oh, it's so disturbing.
It's turned into like, how to freak out a cashier to how to make the people of Walmart uncomfortable.
That is a challenge.
That's a feat.
That is an absolute challenge. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, jump on that, YouTube.
Yeah, fuck throwing milk jugs around. That's just destructive. How are you going to just make somebody uncomfortable without
Go
doing
into
anything?
Walmart and make a purchase that makes everyone in Walmart uncomfortable.
Yeah. And not like obviously uncomfortable. Don't be an asshole. Don't be perverted. You just got to do some shit where people look at it and they can't help but draw conclusions. Oh.
What's the package?
That's the package.
Well, no, what is the package?
10 items or less to freak out your cashier.
There you go.
God damn it. What is so stupid?
God help us. All right. Do you want to do a PSA this week? Because you kind of did it at the beginning.
No, I'm going to say we'll take what we had at the beginning. I will say for us, we need to get our shit together. This was fucking weird, man. It was fun as hell. This is nonsense.
This is what happens when we're tired.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I never took that
This
nap.
is what happens when we record a bunch.
I meant to take that nap. I never ended up doing that, so I'm a little.
This is also what happens when we don't go live.
Oh yeah, we don't have any filter on because we know we can edit it and post.
There's no comments. The comments aren't flopping up, distracting us. We just sit here and go, what?
I'm gonna let my brain spill out all over this podcast. Oh Lord.
Oh, I agree. All right. So that's it for this week, everybody. Until next time, if there is a next time because of this shopping list, we'll talk to you then.
Deuces.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Perfect Package Podcast.
Perfect Package Podcast?
Do you have an idea for a future topic? Shoot us a message via Twitter, Facebook, or even Instagram. We are P3 Show across all platforms, or visit our website at p3show.com. Remember to subscribe to the show and spread the love with a perfect 5-star review. Otherwise, we may start to think you're a hater. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for a brand new episode of the Perfect Package Podcast.
Pickle Piper Pecker, Perfect Pecker Pod Package?